Hello, my name is Brittany Andrews, and the purpose of this video is to discuss the key social, systemic, and structural limitations on the capacity of schools that determines the levels to which students are educated. Though learning is something that every individual has a right to do, education was not designed for all students, nor do all students receive equitable education. Each of the historical factors that places limitations on education either benefit it or hinder it. The 6 limitations are as follows. Limitation 1, laws and regulations. Limitation 2, changing mindsets and limiting beliefs about learning. Limitation 3, standardization versus differentiation. Limitation 4, teacher isolation versus teacher collaboration, leadership, and engagement. Limitation 5, a narrow view of professional development. And limitation 6, teaching and student learning as separate acts versus teaching and learning as an interactive process. Limitation 1 specifically pertains to me and my culture as a descendant of Africa. As an African American, the right to learn, read, and seek education has not always been available. However, many of my ancestors fought and died for this right, and it is very influential in my decision to further my education and learn as much as possible. A potential solution to this limitation is an end to racism and the idea that any race is superior to the other. Limitation 2 is a direct representation of failure. In my opinion, to believe that students should think a certain way and not make mistakes or be wrong to be considered intelligent is quite ignorant. As Diana Laufenberg said in her video on how to learn from mistakes, telling kids they should always have the right answer and never be incorrect or make mistakes does not let them learn. Limiting beliefs about learning takes learning out of education altogether. This limitation is instrumental in reaching all students by providing educators with a new outlook to learning that goes beyond the traditional approaches. A potential solution to this limitation is to remove traditional practices and change the mindsets of educators. Limitation 3 is the difference between no child left behind and many children being left behind. Standardization is better suited for robots, machines, and computers. These items and things are standard and designed to work in regularity, whereas human beings are created specifically to be different, to talk, think, and act differently. Differentiation supports the differences in learning and ensures no child is left behind, while standardization limits learners and is not appropriate for ensuring all students are educated at the same high levels. This limitation is instrumental in reaching all students because it reduces the one-size-fits-all standard and provides students with a diverse learning experience. A potential solution to this limitation is to remove standardization completely from schools and implement 21st century instruction. Limitation 4 reminds me of the traditional classroom and teachers. These teachers had their one style of teaching and they kept students confined to their desks and classrooms in a basic one-room schoolhouse or classroom setting where they were only allowed to speak at certain times and were often only allowed to operate as robots. These teachers kept their assessments and ideas to themselves and rarely interacted with any other teachers or colleagues. They knew it all, and there was no one to tell them otherwise. However, high-level education requires collaboration, leadership, and engagement. This limitation is instrumental in reaching all students because it involves collaboration. A potential solution to this limitation is professional development. Limitation 5 presents learning as a joint effort. Though the teacher is supposed to teach the student, the teacher must consistently learn and remain professionally committed to their own development and learning. Providing students with effective instruction requires that teachers remain actively engaged in superior professional development that ensures students are learning and reaching goals. This limitation is instrumental in reaching all students because it reaches teachers. A potential solution to this limitation is long-term and consistent professional development beyond what is required. Limitation 6 reminds me of data and the important role it plays in instruction. Effective instruction includes collaborations from teachers, educational leaders, parents, and students. Everyone has a role, and everyone's role is vital to student learning. Everyone's roles must work as one unit rather than separate units to meet the needs of all students. Therefore, the teaching and learning process must be an interactive entity that consists of collaboration from all involved. This limitation is instrumental in reaching all students because it requires full collaboration and feedback from multiple streams. A potential solution to this limitation is continual learning for teachers from students, colleagues, and administrators to increase their skills and knowledge. Thank you.